Barry?
Did you have a question?
Yes, I had a question for Abraham that concerns outdoor cafes.
There's no Abraham today. It's just Cause. So you have a question
Well,
for Cause.
then I have a question for Cause.
Okay.
Cause, hi, it's Judy. Cause, I wanted to know, with all the outdoor cafes that are in the streets and everything, now when people apply for their liquor license, do they still have to apply for a sidewalk cafe as well and pay for it, or is that done by DOT now?
It's going to be done by DOT, but nothing has been set in rules. It's still under the emergency till the end of the year, October, November, whatever it is. And all the people do is just apply to DOT for the street and sidewalk seating and however, whatever they need.
So then we don't hear the sidewalk part of it now, is that correct?
There is no real sidewalk application. It's done by DOT, and we haven't heard of, since the emergency as of 2020. And that will be heard in the future, but at this stage, nothing.
Okay, thank you. I was kind of confused on that. Thank you very much.
Judy, there is a website the DOT has, all the applicants and all the inspections that have been done, for all the applications that DOT has received.
Okay, well, maybe I can talk to you offline about that.
Okay. Okay, being 6:30 or 6:32, I guess we can start. Welcome to the June Street Life Committee meeting. My name is Kaz. Abraham, the chair, is unavailable tonight, so let me change this. Okay, so the first item is Bon Gusto, Sophie G, DBA Bon Gusto, the discussion. Who brought this up, Zach?
So was raised last month regarding their rear yard usage. Abraham agreed to put this on the agenda for the discussion with the community and members of the public regarding their rear yard usage. So if
Do we have anybody from the public or any board member that wishes to discuss this, or we'll table it till next month?
If anyone is here representing Cafe Bangladesh, please use on the reactions icon, press the raise hand button so we know you're here representing Cafe Bangladesh.
Okay, not seeing any, I guess we'll defer it till next month.
Oh, I think we have hands raised.
Oh, Marco? Can we up you? Marco, go ahead.
Thank you, Coach. I think my concern is why the applicant is not right here. Do you have an idea why he's not coming? He disobeyed what we are recommending him? Or the question is, should be for Zachariah. Did you make an appointment with them? They are aware of this meeting?
Yes, they are aware of this meeting, and they did confirm they were showing up tonight. They did confirm with me that they were going to appear tonight.
Okay, who's VYL? If we can unmute them and they can identify themselves, maybe this is them.
Yeah, so this is Leo Chen speaking. The letters are just what came up in the login for the acronyms. So I'm the one, and among others who are within the community, who raised this issue, not just last month, but exactly 1 year ago today. And so it's very, very disconcerting that they, the person, whoever it is, responded from Cafe Buen Gusto did not appear. But this is becoming obviously a problem. It's a pattern of like ignorance, as in ignorance, I think ignoring the CB8, ignoring their neighbors, and continuing to violate their certificate of occupancy. They have a oath violation stemming back from last year that they have not responded to, but continue to use their backyard in violation, not just of the CO, but in violation of their liquor license. And so what we asked for last week was to certainly bring them forward, let them speak, but apparently they don't want to speak. So we need to have action being taken by the board. So I understand Zachary was helpful trying to get the fire department in, but the egress is not an issue, right? There's always going to be an emergency exit. Their delivery people exit out from that downstairs. It goes through, oddly enough, their front covered I don't know, area, whether that's even legal or not. There's lots of debates about the illegality of their structure, covered on all sides with a roof. I know there's lots of issues in connection with that. But what we need is someone to assist, and whether we or be forced to do that ourselves in connection with the Department of Buildings to enforce this certificate of occupancy violation, and in particular, the State Liquor Authority, and to seek to have their license suspended. And so, I know that Zachary, you've indicated that you've reached out to the State Liquor Authority, but we need to get some response. We need to get some action. And I know you guys must have contacts there. I can't believe that you don't have no ability to reach someone at the State Liquor Authority.
Okay, well, since they're not here, we can, hear different arguments for or against. I guess the best thing we can do is write to the SLA for clarification on why they're not responding. We could also get DOB out there as far as the C of O and matter of egress and any illegality in the structures or in the building. But apart from that, we can't enforce it ourselves. So we're dependent on the SLA and DOB. So I guess the best thing we can do is write a letter to both DOB and SLA again.
We we did write a letter to DOB and SLA, and we are still waiting on a response from both agencies at the moment.
Okay, so maybe we can make a phone call tomorrow.
Mhm.
We're dependent on the agencies also. Okay, Marco?
Thank you, Cos. But I think as a community, we have to stand in a position. We have to do something because if he doesn't show up today, next month is not going to do that, and then it will be until September, if I'm not wrong. So the issue is we have to take action in this case. If he doesn't show up next month, because our efforts, Zacharias has been contacted them, as he said, so we had to have a position also in the community board, what we should do. And I strongly recommend that we have to take action next month if he doesn't show up or not.
Okay, well, we can take that up next month. Okay, the next item will be 2A, Serafina to go. Do we have the applicant here? We can lower.
Kevin, Max, or Sora, if you're here, raise your hands. Oh, I see applicants. I think Kevin's here. Kevin, you can unmute.
Yes. Good
Can we
evening.
lower all the other hands, Zach?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you tell us a bit about your application of what's going on? And
Okay. Oh, Max, are you on? I believe Max Bookman is.
Max is here. Max, you can unmute.
Yes, okay, I was trying to raise my hand. Thank you. Can you all hear me now?
yep, thanks, Max.
All right, thanks, Cos. Good evening, CB8. It's nice to see everyone again. My name is Max Bookman. I'm an attorney, and I frequently appear before this board. I see some new faces as well. I'm also one of your constituents, my wife and daughter, and I live on 77th and York, and we have for several years. With me is Kevin Del Castle. He is the operations manager for Serafina. And this is a beer and wine application for a new Serafina location on 84th and 3rd. I just want to thank everyone and apologize that there was no appearance last month. It was not meant out of disrespect. There was just a miscommunication as to the date of the meeting and nobody showed up. So I appreciate you putting this over to this month so that we would have a chance to appear before you. So everyone on the Upper East Side knows Serafina from the location on Madison and 79th. That was their first location from 1995. And since then, they've evolved into an international brand of Italian restaurants. This location on 84th and 3rd is where the Ann Taylor Loft used to be. It's a lighter concept, so it's not a repeat of the Serafina on 79th and Madison. It's not a full kitchen. It's just going to be a food prep area where they're going to do a lighter menu, prepared foods, salads, sandwiches, pizzas, all under the Serafina brand. As I said, it's a beer and wine application, very reasonable hours, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. It's a small space, only 20 tables inside. There were I watched the video from last month. 3 members of the community did appear with questions, and I'm sorry that we weren't there to answer their questions. I don't know if they're here tonight, but I am prepared to answer their questions now. So the first question had to do with the to-go name in the in their corporate name. It's Serafina To Go. So people wanted to know what that meant. And the question was, is it going to be like a liquor store? So the answer to that is no, it's not a liquor store. The To Go is probably not going to be their trade name. They're thinking of other ideas for the trade name. It's going to be Serafina, either Express or something like that. But it's just to denote that it's not a full restaurant. It's just a lighter menu. So that hopefully answers that question. The second question had to do with odors. Will there be odors out, especially on the public plaza? And the answer to that is no as well. Also because there's not going to be a kitchen here. It's prepared foods only, no cooking of with smoke or anything like that. And the last question from last month had to do with outdoor seating in the POP space. They are that public, privately accessible public space, the little plaza there on the 84th Street side. So the answer to that is no, there will not be outside seating in that space. It's not ours anyway. It's public space, privately owned public space. It is a corner location, and so there is true sidewalk seating on the 3rd Avenue side, and they will seek to have sidewalk seating there under the DOT Open Restaurants program, to the question that you were answering earlier, Kas, or whatever permanent program is in place in the future. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Well, my first question would be, are they going to be putting permanent structure on the sidewalk?
Well, they're not allowed to do that under the current program, and that's not their intention. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds, but under the current program, you can't have a permanent structure on the sidewalk, and they won't.
Okay, will they be applying for a permanent structure on the street?
I'm not even sure if they can have roadway seating on that side of 3rd Avenue. Kevin, do you folks intend to have roadway seating on 3rd Avenue?
No, we do not.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the public? Torb Schwartz, if we can unmute.
Torb, you can unmute.
There you go.
Torb, if you're there, you are unmuted and you can speak. Torb, if you're there, you can speak. You are unmuted.
Let's try that. Can you hear me? There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
Todd Schwartz. I'm a board member at 171 East 84th Street, which is obviously the building you guys are coming into, Evans Tower. We're excited to have the space filled. That said, there is some concern around the community. We've been within the building, obviously, with something new coming in. We've tried to communicate through the commercial landlord, and I'll be candid with you. I feel like I've kind of gotten one word sort of glib answers. So I guess this is my chance. You guys going to be doing delivery? I mean, we have enough trouble with bicycles flooding that plaza. I mean, is it going to become Grubhub? It sometimes looks like a Sturgis rally out there. Are we going to be adding to that, or are you guys going to be using Grubhub, Seamless, that kind of thing?
Would you like us to answer that, Gus?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Kevin, I mean, I assume the answer is you are going to be using delivery apps.
Yes, we would like to.
Okay.
Todd, by the way, I mean, since this is the first time that you're going to get and I'm sorry that's the case, that you're getting to interface directly with us. We'd love to happy to answer any other questions you have now, but also just to happy to take your contact info and continue any conversation.
I think
if there's concerns, for example, about the manner in which delivery happens, where you'd like delivery, to be conducted through, since it is a corner location, Kevin and the team will be happy to, coordinate that.
So related to that, another thing that's come up is originally when we saw the schematics of this, you guys, the Serafina awning was going to go around the entire, I guess, place, but now half the space, I guess, is going to be some sort of wellness center. Is my understanding. Is the Serafina awning going to stop halfway up the 3rd Avenue side and it's going to be a different awning, or is your awning going to cover what's underneath?
I don't have any visibility on that issue. Kevin, do you?
Oh, so the awning would be just on our space.
So it might be something different the other half, or they might not have it. Well, we obviously don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, they did subdivide the space.
Right. Okay. Also, and sorry to monopolize, but obviously I'm representing 200 people that are above that obviously are keen, but with mixed emotions on certain things because there's never been a restaurant there. I'd like to also ask, the prior tenants, the loft, they were not great about their trash out front. And it fell to our building, our staff, to kind of be the cleanup team for, the loft. So I'm going to have to ask you guys to say hand to heart that our staff is, we are duty bound to take care of that brick plaza. But if you guys are going to have tables outside, we cannot be sort of subsidizing that effort. I mean, you gotta have to take ownership and regularly clear the trash and the cups and whatever, because our staff can't be doing that. You know, whether it's snow removal or whatever. We're gonna have to kind of come to some understanding that that's going to be part of your, you know, your sector. And again, I want this in a constructive way. I mean, we were excited to have something there, but we just can't be like sort of creating a subsidy for a restaurant with our staff having more to do because there's something that generates more trash on 3rd Avenue.
That's a completely legitimate concern, one that's frequently raised when we have the opportunity before the community board meeting to have these kinds of conversations. And I'm sorry we were not connected in this way before now. But you know, Kevin, I mean, if you have anything you'd like to elaborate on that, but I think I speak for Serafina when I say, I mean, they're a responsible operator. They have had 19 liquor licenses in New York State, all concentrated in New York City, and the type of coordination that you're talking about is something that they're familiar with and is fundamental to what they do.
Yes, we will have adequate staff to ensure that because it reflects on us as well. So that will ensure that the outside is, of course, kept clean. And our garbage pickup is 7 nights a week. That's what we do in all of our locations.
Do you guys leave bags out front, or do you use, like, we'd really encourage the 65-gallon rolling cans? And my colleague Andrew Fine could probably espouse on that, but Serafina up the street used to be a disaster, and then they went to 65-gallon cans because you get these bags, and, you know, even if they're taken out every night, you know, they get chewed on or whatever by the rats, or I don't know what. But I think we just need a process to lock that kind of stuff down, would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they even thought to that particular point, but it's a legitimate one. And I also don't know if this building, maybe Todd, you know better, has any capacity for us to store garbage internally before it's brought out for carting. But we could take that suggestion, and I see no reason why they wouldn't implement it.
Also, pest control, there's definitely concern that there's residents right above it. We had suggested to the commercial unit owner that they do like a fire stopping to, you know, we don't want an uptick in pests. And we were kind of like, oh, it was done before. I'm going to ask you guys to look over the space and double check, because to say something was that, I mean, because if 6 months in there's an increase in rodents upstairs, it's not going to be good for any of us. And again, we want this to work, but I'm trying to think of all the things that have come up. And I'm sorry to monopolize the meeting. I don't normally come to these things, but I figure, and maybe we'll talk more offline.
Well, and this type of detail is normally not discussed in this type of detail as a matter of first impression at these meetings, but that's again because it seems like we've not been put in touch. And so Kevin is taking notes, but what I think, you know, if the community board office and Mr. Glass, you know, could, you know, connect us so that we have a way for you to also, you know, summarize these legitimate concerns, and that we could, you know, socialize it within the company. Okay. I think that's a good way to proceed.
All right. I mean, I'll find your email, Max, online, and I'll send you an email.
Yeah, you could just find my email. Yeah, exactly.
All right. I've spoken enough. I'm sure other people.
Well, you know, you two or you three can get together at any time, so that would be very helpful. Are there garbage cans in the plaza at the moment?
I think there's only a city, you know, sanitation, you know, garbage can on the corner of 84th and 3rd. Okay. I don't think there's anything beyond that.
Okay. Who do we have next? Andrew.
Hi, folks. Thank you, Serafina, for joining the meeting tonight. We really sincerely hope that you end up being a fantastic community partner.
Thank you.
And of course, our default is optimistic. So hopefully we can stick with that. I had a few questions. One was, you mentioned sidewalk dining, and but you mentioned that you didn't plan on doing a sidewalk shed, nor did you plan on setting up on the sidewalk. So I'm confused. What do you have planned in terms of total seating? I know, as Tal mentioned, that our plaza is already sort of like a Sturgis rally of delivery bikes.
Yeah.
What is the exact number of seats you plan on?
So I could address that, Andrew. So, you know, under the current emergency temporary DOT program, there's two types of seating. There's sidewalk seating on the sidewalk. That's what we used to call sidewalk cafes before the pandemic, and roadway seating, which didn't exist before the pandemic, and that's in the parking lane. What you heard Kevin say tonight is that there's no plan for any roadway seating. So there's no roadway seating at all. There's also no plan for sidewalk seating on the 84th Street side, because as you know, that's the plaza, and we can't put seats there. And so the only outdoor seating at all that leaves us with is sidewalk seating on the 3rd Avenue sidewalk on the 3rd Avenue frontage of the space. We'll put whatever we can get legally under the current temporary program. We're not going to build a structure on the sidewalk, so it's not going to be a platform. So it'll be like your pre-pandemic sidewalk cafe, where there's tables and chairs and some little movable stanchions that could be brought in every night. There's clearance requirements. We got to leave 8 feet of clear path. There's other clearance requirements, and however many tables we could legally fit in and safely fit in, we will.
Yeah. I just advise you that it's a very high traffic area, and to put more than, say, a 2-person table against the window. Anything beyond that would be like just logistically practically impossible just for your servers. And I'd love if there was some way that you would commit, because if there's the right to roadway dining, and you're telling us that you're not going to do it, I don't see how that would be binding.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of what you said, Andrew.
That if you're telling the community board that you don't intend to do roadway dining, yet it's something that's legally feasible to you.
I see.
What assurance do we have that there won't be roadway dining? Because that would be problematic to just about everybody that lives anywhere near that, residential apartments near the roadway dining structure.
Well, we could stipulate to it. I mean, that's how, and
Great.
Anyway,
you could do that. So second question, thank you for answering that. And I love the answer, by the way. Second is, in terms of venting, I know that you are going to do mainly prepared food, but you will be making pizzas, like pizzas have cheese melts or burns. There's a terrace apartment directly above your future establishment. How are you going to handle any smoke that might be generated by making pizzas? Because I'm sure you're going to make quite a few.
No, I mean, you're right, and I'll let Kevin address the exact venting question, because I spoke with him about this before the meeting, and I want him to say it in his own words. But you're right, Andrew. I mean, it's we wanted to make the distinction clear that this is not either legally a restaurant, and there's no full kitchen being put in, and there's not going to be the typical cooking associated with the restaurant. But you're right, with the food prep area that we're putting in, there will be some warming components. Kevin, could you address the venting?
Yes, so we were planning to do the venting on the 84th Street side, halfway up our space.
Okay. If
And
Agatha and Valentina, is any example of venting directly onto the street? For instance, they do sort of light prepared on 79th and 1st, and it's like an awful smoke condition. I'd like to know that that's not going to happen, because there are seniors that enjoy the space to socialize the publicly owned private space, and I think that a smoke condition vented onto 84th Street, 1 story below a series of residences, could encroach on the enjoyment of that space.
okay, so we
Go ahead, Kevin.
right. So basically the only thing that we would be cooking in there is pizzas.
So I'm going to have craving for pizza all the time.
Let's hope.
Donuts. Anyway.
There are some limitations, I think, to the venting that we're able to do, and some of that has to do with where else it can go. I mean, I think given the legitimate concern you've raised, Andrew, about the publicly owned private space, it's I think, the best answer we can give is, and this could be stipulated in any way, that, we're not going to be engaging in any type of cooking that would be, creating smoke conditions on, in that space.
Right. Yeah, because smoke is bad. And I know that from Agatha on 79th and 1st, it was, it continues to be like just a real plague on the neighborhood and the enjoyment of the general area for like a half a block in each direction. My third question is, and Tao touched on this, we've had a lot of problems across the street with McDonald's, Chipotle. We previously had a problem with Sweet Green regarding food waste and putting the waste out at night for pickup from carting. And we managed to work with Sweet Green, and Sweet Green agreed that they had an issue because they had to clean up sludge hours after it was generated every morning. And they started using 64-gallon rolling plastic cans and sealed cans. And I have to tell you, it's a night and day difference. And we're about to approach the other food businesses on the block and the local council member about having food waste containerized in this way, so that we don't attract the rats, we don't get the sludge, we don't get the smell. And I was wondering if you guys would commit to, it's not a big ask. The cans are about $80 each, and it's a much more pleasant way of dealing with garbage. It's more pleasant for the neighbors. And I think it's also more pleasant for the employees that don't have to clean up the sludge at the end of the day.
So let me address that this way, Andrew. I mean, before I moved to 77th, I lived on 84th and 2nd. And so I know exactly what you're talking about with the Sweet Green, with the McDonald's, the disgusting avocados that were rotting overnight. I couldn't push my stroller through it. And so I understand the issue 100%. And I think it's a good idea to raise with Julie Menon about potentially having options for better containerizing. I know this is an issue that, is a broader citywide issue and how we deal with commercial food waste. Unless Kevin is going to say otherwise, I don't know if Kevin and I are able to commit as a stipulation tonight that we're going to use the containers you're suggesting. It's not because we don't want to, it's just because since we haven't been able to speak in this way directly before tonight, I just don't know if the people who can make that decision are, what they would say on that. But it's certainly, I see nothing wrong with that, and it's certainly a recommendation that I would make. And in the further discussions that we'll have with you and Tob, we can circle back to you on that type of commitment. I just can't make it a stipulation tonight. Oh, Kevin just texted me. Kevin just texted me. He said we can commit.
Oh, I like it. All right, excellent.
Of course.
Makes a big difference. And like I said, I really hope that Serafina and Evans Tower have a long and beautiful relationship together, and we're partners and make the neighborhood more desirable for all. Thank you.
Likewise, and we'll be in contact.
Appreciate it.
Matt, so you're agreeing to solid trash containers?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you going to store those?
Oh, so we have a basement, but we also have a prep kitchen area, a back area of the kitchen as well.
So there will be no solid containers on the street until pickup time.
That is correct. And again, to mention, we do get 7 days a week pickup.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I had a question before, but that can wait. We have Sid. Who is Sid? If we can, yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a quick clarity first. Good evening, everyone. Going back to the first agenda item, I'd raised my hand to try to comment on it when we were tabling it. Am I understanding correctly? We're supposed to ask questions about Cafe Bon Gusto at the end of this meeting?
No, we're going to have them come back next month. I mean, we could be discussing it all night, but we're not going to get anything done unless they're here. So
Fair enough. I don't want to belabor it at all, but I just would like to flag that they just have to keep kicking the can down the road a month and a month and a month, and then the outdoor space won't be necessary for them. It's a constant intrusion on our quality of life in the evenings. They said they weren't going to go past 9:30 last year. They have been going past 9:30. Again, not to belabor the point, but just to make it again, if they decide that they don't show up and it just keeps kicking the can down the road, it doesn't help us at all, and we have to get proactive somehow.
We'll make sure that they come next month, and we'll try and persuade them to come next month. Okay. And if anybody can come next month, that would be helpful also. Max, are you still here? Oh, you're unmuted still. Deliveries. I mean, what I'm seeing is delivery people congregating in certain public areas. You get a dozen bikes waiting for the delivery to come through. Can we do anything about it?
I mean,
you're in that kind of position that could help us.
I mean, what you're talking about, Cos, is a industry issue that needs citywide solutions, and I mean, and you're talking about macroeconomic trends in towards these, towards delivery. I mean, it got accelerated during the pandemic. Everybody is delivering, and everybody should not be ordering through Seamless and Grubhub. They should be ordering directly from the restaurants that they want to support because of of the predatory practices of Seamless and Grubhub. But whoever you order from, there's going to be bikes, and I know that stretch of 3rd Avenue is problematic. It's understood. I think we started off a good conversation tonight with Taub and Andrew from the apartment building about opening lines of communication. It is a corner location. I know that building, and so there are options that we can discuss with them about how we want to best suit delivery for this particular location. But it's a tough industry-wide issue.
Okay, but we can count on you to help us.
We're trying. Don't use Seamless.
Mrs. Brown, I thought you had your hand up. I don't see you anymore. Marco.
Thank you, Cos. I would like to propose a motion and then to speak. The motion is to approve.
With the condition.
No, let me speak, Leah. Is anybody can second? Oh, okay, Judy second. Okay, the issue is next. Max, we have to put very clear on all the issues that were raised tonight. First of all, let's go talk about all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Are you filing in the Department of Building for mechanical and for the repair of that location, also filing for the ONI?
Marco, I usually have answers to those questions because I know you're going to ask them.
The only thing is, you have to do it because that is the law. So there is no, you cannot avoid that part. So the only thing
that's what I was going to say.
It's a part of the stipulation is you file that, and then basically we cannot control whatever you go inside because you do as a right of development. So that's the point. As long as you file properly for the legal way, I don't have no problem. The other part is the pest control. I think who took a lot of time, and I also have to appreciate Andrew Fine. I seen him try to kill rats, or at least to push away the rats from the neighborhood. This is probably the only neighbor person that does that I see in that. Yeah, and he doesn't have no restaurant, by the way. And I would like to do that. You should do that, especially control the garbage. And I would like to be very clear, like Nicole said, that you're not going to put the solid containers outside. You're just only going to put outside when they come in the time to pick up. Is that will be a reasonable stipulation?
The garbage stipulation, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you are also in agreement that you are not going to put any tables or anything on the plaza, because this is a public way. You cannot use as your own place. This is for public use.
This is a conversation I've had with them, and they understand. And so that we are in agreement on that.
Okay, so you are going to plan to put the seating, the road seating on Third Avenue, is that correct? No,
Sidewalk seating.
Yeah.
No, only sidewalk, Marco.
Oh, okay, good. So I think pretty much I covered all of this. If you are in agreement, yes, I'm very happy to support your application, as I said in the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco.
Mrs. Brown.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I don't know if this has been covered, but I didn't hear if you're going to be ADA compliant. Are there any
Yes.
access problems?
It's not been covered. Kevin, can you address that?
Yes. Yeah, we have filed all of the necessary permits. And yes, we do have the ADA bathroom and the ADA entrance, of course, as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, then I can support.
That location is ground level anyway, isn't it?
Correct.
Ground level.
Yeah.
There's no stairs.
No
Yeah.
stairs. Mm-hmm. And there's no. Is there any apartments above the location? I know that you're going to close at 10, but sometimes it can be a little rowdy before 10. I mean, are there any apartments located above the establishment, sir?
There are. I mean, it is a beer and wine license, and so there's going to be, I think, a limit on the rowdiness. I mean, what we put in our paperwork is we expect 90% of sales to be from food, and so it's not a bar by any stretch.
All right. Well, I can support the application. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown.
Judy.
Call the question.
All in favor? No objections? Okay, let's, if you're voting no, abstaining or not voting for cause, please raise your hand. Seeing none, this will go down as a unanimous. Zachary, you will keep the who's present. Can we read the who's present?
Sure. Wait one moment. We have just one moment. We have Judy Schneider, Addison Lev, Evan Meyerson, Casey Lally, Lindsay Cormack, Marco Tomeo, Miss Brown, Robin Selgeson, and Russell Squire.
And me.
And Kaz.
And Kaz. Thank you.
Hey, I don't count. Okay, that's that one. Let's
Thank you,
go to the
everyone.
next
Good
one.
evening.
Thanks, Max. We'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Manhattan Mazel Fortune LLC DBA Chosen 1553 2nd Avenue. Do we have the representative? Raise your hand.
Hong Chen.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the representative. I'm attorney for the applicant, and he's here. Neil, raise your hand. He's on the second line of the screen. And
hello.
Yes, he's here. He's experienced restaurant owner. He has restaurant in Greenwich and other places. This premise, we have 3 floors, basement, first floor, and second floor. And above us are 3 apartments. It's mixed use.
Two apartments.
2 apartments. It's a mixed use building. We only apply for wine and liquor. No,
Wine and beer.
Wine and beer, no liquor at all. And we open only 5 days, like Friday, Saturday we close because our Jewish holiday. So we only open 5 days, be quiet. And we use a bike for delivering. We notice you're concerned about that. We give a picture, we give an affidavit, and we try to comply with everything you community board will require and by the law. And our menu is not ready, but Neil will tell you what we provide for community, for the public. So any questions from there, and we are happy to answer.
What was there before?
Jaya Restaurant.
Oh, that place, okay.
Jaya Restaurant.
Anybody from the public here for this item? Not seeing any. Mrs. Brown, we'll go to you first.
Zachary just supplied me with the information. Thank you. I'm going to lower my hand.
Okay, thank you. Marco.
Thank you, Cos. I would like to put a motion then to speak. The motion is to approve. Is anybody can second?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay, so the only concern that I have in this application, I would like to see if it's in agreement, the applicant is the delivery. Especially, we had to figure out something in the delivery. This is a very reasonable restaurant, and what are they asking is something very minor. And is the attorney can answer that question, Mrs. Chen.
What would you like to know about deliveries, Marco?
Yeah, I would like to see what kind of delivery does. Was it you're gonna hire somebody else? You're gonna do you?
She said they're doing their own delivery.
Oh, okay. So are you going to obey the law of the bicycle road or not?
It's a bicycle. It's a bicycle.
Yeah, but are you going to your employees are going to obey the?
It's an employee.
Yeah, the employee. Are you going? They are going to obey the law of the traffic or not?
We give affidavits. We definitely will comply with the law, and we know we don't have outdoor space, cafe, no real park, nothing. Yeah, it's very simple. Like restaurant open only 5 days.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.
But there used to be partly on the sidewalk there at one stage, wasn't there? You will not be using any part of the sidewalk?
No.
No, they did not use any part of the sidewalk. There's no signs of it. There are no pictures of it. We went through every picture we found on their Facebook pages and Google, etc. And there's never been, according to the owner also, there was never any sidewalk seating.
Okay. Mrs. Judy.
Yes. What kind of food will you, what's your menu consisting of?
Asian food.
Okay. And how far down will you deliver?
What does that mean? How far down?
I live on 64th Street. You're going to deliver to me?
No,
I have to deliver as far as 62nd Street because that's where my daughter and my new son-in-law live.
Great.
And if I can't deliver to 62nd Street, then I can't open the restaurant. So
okay. Good to hear
it. Solution.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Mrs. Brown.
Yes, thank you. I understand that you're going to occupy 3 floors. Is that correct?
Yes.
3 floors?
The basement is the kitchen
Okay.
in that restaurant. There is no kitchen facility of any sort on the ground floor. So the basement has the kitchen. The first round is eating. And the floor upstairs is office and just general storage for our paper goods and things of that nature.
So then it's just one level then, and it's ADA accessible?
Yes, it's ADA accessible and there's an ADA compliant bathroom.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Carlos, can you ask the applicants in advance if their restaurant is ADA compliant? And that way I won't have to ask the question.
Okay, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Now,
Thank you.
with all the applicants that are present that are going to be presenting later on, if you can state whether you're ADA compliant or not, that will save us time too. Anybody else? Adelson Lee.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'd like to call the question.
By the way, it is Kaz, not Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kaz.
No formalities. Questions being called. I'm seeing none. This will be it.
Oh, Kaz, would you be able to repeat that? Muted you by accident. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
my fault. I really apologize.
I don't know what was going. Is there anybody opposed to calling the question? Not seeing any. Anybody not voting for cause, voting no, raise your hand. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous. Seeing no hands, this is a unanimous. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
I look forward to meeting all of you in person.
So
make sure you deliver just north of 63.
okay.
Have a good evening.
Good evening. Thank you.
Comment for the
New Chinatown, Upper East Side Inc.
Oh, before we move on, is it okay if I comment on the record who's voting?
Same people, or we have new, or yeah, you can read them off, Zach. Thanks.
Okay. So Addison Lev, Evan Meyerson, Judith Schneider, Casey Lally, Lindsay Cormack, Marco Tomeo, Miss Brown, Robin Salison, and Russell Squire.
Good. I get missed out again. Thanks, Zach. New Chinatown, Upper East Side Inc., 1650 3rd Avenue, SLA. Do we have the rep? Steve. Can we unmute Steve?
Steve, if you're there, you can unmute.
Okay.
Hey, can anyone hear me though? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, wait a minute. What's Wang waving his hand for? Can we unmute him?
Hi, my name's Steven. I'll be presenting 1650 the New Chinatown. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. We take over the space, and it's gonna be a Chinese restaurant. Same thing as previously, though. We took away the sushi, and it's not gonna be any sushi in the future, though. So it's just gonna be Chinese, and more like traditional Chinese instead of take the American lifestyle. We're gonna have some like Hunan cuisine in it. It's like more like a spicy one though.
Okay.
Yeah, I can speak.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. That will be the restaurant. I filled out the application. My name is James Wang. I think you know me here. And also, yeah, this will be restaurant. The 11 to 12 o'clock, 7 days a week. And the restaurant is there is almost 30 years. So they just signed a new lease. They will start a new business. So the Kevin Lin is said, yeah, they will move the sushi will be all for Chinese food. Yeah, they will make the delivery and also they will use bicycle. So I did fill out the application and with the affidavit for the regarding the ADA law. Okay, so I just want to mention here, not only for us. So the health permit, they do have this condition. If they didn't put on this application for the permit, the permit never granted. So for the health department, right now they enforce for the ADA rules. So we are here waiting to answer any question if you have.
Okay, and you've got your own delivery?
Kevin, could you answer?
We don't have any delivery though. We only gonna use their parties though.
Okay. So you're going to try and make sure that they obey all the relevant laws and no congregating on the sidewalk and all the good points?
Yeah, they will definitely will obey the law. Yes, right.
Thank you. Any member of the public? Mrs. Brown.
Thank you. Is this the restaurant that is on 3rd Avenue, close to 92nd?
Between 92nd and 93rd, called Chinatown. They are there in almost 30 years.
Okay. Now, I noticed your hours are going to be until 11 p.m. Is that
11,
correct?
11 a.m. to 12 a.m. 7 days a week.
And
no, sorry. We close at 10 p.m. though.
Oh, you want to close at 10?
Yeah, we close at 10 p.m. though. Sorry.
Okay.
That's the new hours though.
All right, and so then you do not have any doors or windows that are open or going to be open beyond 10 p.m. because you close at 10. Is that correct?
Yes, we close at 10. The hours like Monday to Friday, hours 11 to 10, and then Friday, Saturday is Saturday, Sunday is 12 to 10. That's the hours there.
Do you have any backyard space or any outdoor space in the back?
Yeah, we do have some backyard space there.
That you will be utilizing?
We're not going to utilize them though.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear because I know you have apartments over your establishment, and sometimes that corner gets very, very loud after 9 p.m. But since it's not going to affect you, then I can support your application, and good luck to you. And
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Surely.
Will you be applying for any sidewalk or streetscape?
No, we're not.
Okay.
It's not even though. The outside of walk is not even though. It's not.
Right. It's very. Marco. Marco's going to call the question.
Thank you, Mr. Espagnoletti. I would like to call the question.
Do we have a second? We've got plenty of seconds. Okay, anybody voting no, not voting for course, abstaining, or not voting yes, please raise your hand. Not seeing any. This will go down as unanimous, and Zachary will read the attendees, including myself.
Yes. So it's Kaz, Addison Lev, Evan Meyerson, Judith Schneider, Casey Lally, Lindsay Cormack, Marco Tamayo, apologies, Mrs. Brown, Robin Salgeson, and Russell Squire.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Thank you.
Who do we have next? Milan Foods Corp, DBA Sea Salt. Do we have the applicant here?
Etron, you are able to speak.
Yes, I am here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Altan.
Who's Sandra Hahn? Oh, can we unmute her? She's got her hand. Yeah, if you can raise your virtual hand rather than your real hand, that way, yes, Zachary can see you.
Yeah, I see. She's unmuted now.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Sandra Ham. I'm calling representing Milan's Food. The DBA name is called Sea Salt. I'm here with Mr. Ertan Costo on the line on camera. So the reason we're here tonight because we are recently applying a brand new application with the full liquor, and also there's gonna be a transfer. I know I was the previous representative with the previous owner. Unfortunately, there was a lot of things going on with the business, financial issues, and they had not been in business for not even a year, I would say, by the time they got the liquor license, which there was some more confusion with the name. So right now, the new owner, what we like to propose, previously there was like Turkish restaurant, now he would like to convert to a Greek restaurant, but it's both a Mediterranean, but with a slight difference in both. They currently would like to continue with the same method of operation with the previous owner. There are no changes, operational, no even structural, everything is kept the same. They currently hold 21 tables with 67 chairs. 11 stools at the bar. They only play background music. There's no patio, no outdoor dining at all. So according to the CEO, even though it allows for 135 people, but they will not max it out to that amount because it will not be feasible. They wanted to maintain it as a family-oriented environment. And as for around the 500 feet radius, where I noticed there are only 8 establishments of hard liquor, but each restaurant, they have different cuisines. So it would like to be different from each other. And also I spoke with Mr. Erta regarding deliveries. He mentioned he will use local workers. He also will abide by the laws. He will have a poster to remind employees to have helmets, vests, reflectors, all that stuff that to comply with the laws. And also with the third-party promoters, I reinforced with him to make sure they don't use the e-bike, which is actually against the law. And according to his experience in restaurant, he has plenty of experience managing restaurant. The previous one he currently managed was called Mila's Midtown. That was right here on 55th Street in Midtown, Manhattan. And the previous one prior to he opened this restaurant, he used to be a partner in Las Vegas restaurant. It was American restaurant back then for about 2 years before he moved to New York to open this brand new business. And pretty much for the presentation, we actually pass the floor with Mr. Ayrton, if you would like to have any question.
And this is ADA compliant?
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Yes, it is ADA compliant. Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody from the public? We have an old ex-member that we cannot unmute at the moment. Zach, can you unmute Mr. Schneider?
Good evening, Kaz, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you. It's been ages now since I've seen you last. Very, very quickly, however, on this applicant. First of all, when you approach the restaurant from the street, it's very, very welcoming. They have a beautiful floral decoration around the entrance to the restaurant. It looks very, very welcoming, very, very nice. I met with the owner, and he seems very, very dedicated to his trade and to his customers. He seems to be a very upstanding young man. The restaurant serves very, very fine food, and I urge my former board members to please vote in favor of the application. He's a good man. It's a good opportunity to welcome a new restaurant to the neighborhood. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Barry. Where did the name sea salt come from?
Sea salt, I like to use in my food 3 kind of different salt. One is black Hawaiian, one is Himalayan salt, and one is the Greek sea salt. So when I have customers, they will experience on the tables 3 kind of different salt, then they will have different experience. Salt is biggest part of the Greek and Mediterranean food.
Yeah, true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Tamayo.
Thank you, Mr. Co-Chair Spagnoletti. I would like to put a motion to approve this application.
We have several seconds. Okay, anybody not voting yes for whatever reason, raise your hand. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous. And Zach, can we have the roster again?
All attendees are the same from previous voting.
Okay, terrific. Thanks. Save time. Okay, that's the next one is Guru Palassing, DBA Ates, 1575 2nd Avenue, aka 240 East 82nd. Do we have the applicant?
Michael James is here. He's the rep for this application. And Michael, you are unmuted.
Good evening, everyone. Wait, I'm trying to start my video, but it's not coming on.
That's okay. Let's carry on.
Well, good evening. Oh, here it goes. Hi, good evening, everyone. Kosh, how are you?
Good.
Good. I represent Guru Pala, as you know, DBA Ates. With me tonight is one of the owners, Gagandeep Kalon, Gary. I don't know which one he is on the screen right now, but he's with me as well. The hours, it's located at 1575 2nd Avenue. Hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Oh, I see you now. There you go. We're seeking a beer and wine license. It's been in operation since 2018. No issues, a great restaurant cafe setup. Serving the community, has great reviews. 2,600 square feet, about 9 tables, 35 for seating. And at this point, I'll take any questions you may have about the operation, the owners, or what we plan to do.
If we have anybody, who's the Zoom user?
I think he's one of the applicant for this application.
Okay. Anybody from the public? Not seeing any, we'll go to Marco. Let's get back to informality. Marco.
Mr. Co-Chair, thank you. I would like to put a motion for approval of this application.
Second, we have a second. Anybody all in favor? Nobody against? And we will call the question. Anybody voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please raise your hand. Not seeing any, this will go down as unanimous. And Zach, we have the same.
Same attendees.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Next one, Casa Chua Cruise. If you're here for that, they will be coming next month.
Subway Inn is here and they submitted materials.
Where's Subway Inn?
They are on the change applications.
Oh, okay.
They're
well,
here.
Let's take them last because we've got Casa. Casa is coming in July, correct?
Yes, Casa has been laid over to July.
Okay. Great performance artists as waitresses, DBA City Parks Foundation. Who do we have?
So Mindy is here. So Mindy, you can unmute.
Here I am. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mindy Birnbaum, and I'm the in-house counsel for Great Performances. I'm here tonight with Josh Satterthwaite, who's the Vice President of Operations for Great Performances, and Larry Siegel, who's the General Manager of Summer Stage. Great Performances, for those of you who don't know us or remember us from last year or from some of our other applications, we are the hospitality company that operates the food and beverage services at Summer Stage in Central Park. We're also in a few other locations in the community board. One of them is Asia Society, the other one's Woman Rink, and we have 16 other liquor licenses in New York State. Last year, we appeared before you to apply for wine and beer licenses, for seasonal licenses for Summer Stage in Central Park, which were approved. And tonight we're back here tonight for an alteration application to make changes to the seating, to add 5 additional bars, and to add a container structure for the office and green rooms, and for the VIP section. So does anyone have any questions?
So how many bars in total will you be having and where will they be situated?
So in the packet, there's a diagram which lays out where they will be. There will be 8 altogether.
Okay, I will look at it later. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you need to come to us every single year for the same permit?
Yes, we did notice you for the renewal.
Yes, yes. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We did just receive our renewed licenses.
So you already have the licenses?
We have the licenses we originally applied for last year. the 3 licenses, and we're here tonight for an alteration to increase the number of bars.
Okay. Anybody from the public on this? Not seeing any. Mark, are you going to approve and call the question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question. You going to enlarge the number of seats, and cause ask you how many people will be total, and because you increase 5 hours, I would like to know especially how many people there will be in that facility.
The TPA, if I'm not mistaken, is for 5,500. Larry, is that correct? Do you mind unmuting Larry Siegel, who's from Summer Stage?
Larry, if you hear, oh, he's unmuted.
Yes, that's correct. It's
Okay.
5,000 patrons, and then the other 500 was for staff and artists. The increase in bars was not to increase our capacity, just to increase the service, so people aren't waiting in lines. And we also have, 2 VIP areas for, select guests.
Did you have any permits for certificate of operation that is required? Because you still, now you increase the number of people, you have to also to modify. I don't know if you have your PA currently, but since you increasing more number of persons, do you have a post-approval amendment or amendment to that license?
We never increased our capacity. Our capacity has been the same since.
So
we
you
just
have
increased
the
number
legal
point of sale.
document.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. You have, okay, as a public assembly.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So you're just increasing the bars to facilitate the ease for the people?
Correct.
Okay. Judy Schneider.
Call the question.
Do we have a second? Yes, we do. Anybody opposed to calling the question? Not seeing any. If you're voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please raise your hand. Otherwise, again, this will go down as a unanimous. Not seeing any, this will go down as unanimous. And Zach, I assume we have the same same number. Good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one, Sonesta Gardens Hotel LLC, the Gardens.
Oh, they have been laid over.
Oh, okay.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
just going by the old, okay. It is over. And Double Shot TV Upper West Side LLC.
They have also been laid over.
Okay, should be going under the new one. Why Upper West Side? Okay, who do we have that you mentioned before?
So we have Subway Inn. They have submitted materials, and we do have 2 representatives from Subway Inn here now. I've sent everyone in the committee their materials. And they also did, just to let everybody know, they did not post flyers as required.
Okay, let's who's their rep?
So we have Stephen Stelinos here, and Stephen, if you're here, you can unmute. And then I think Ellen from ABC License as well, I believe. You can unmute Ellen as well.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Ellen. I'm representing AS Subway Inn INC. They're currently at 1142nd Avenue. They have to relocate to 1154 2nd Avenue. Currently, they're at corner of 60th Street and 2nd Avenue. Now they're moving to the other side of almost to the other corner, to 1154 Second Avenue because the landlord has other plans, and it was this, or they have to vacate. The renovation took quite a long. Now we're not applying for a new application. We're applying for something called a removal application, where we're moving. Okay, it's a removal application, and SLA will take quite a long time at this due to heavy delays. Everything will remain the same. They had the stipulation years back. We did not represent them years back, but when they had this, when the stipulation was agreed upon, they're operating from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Their closing hours are 4 a.m. 7 days. The opening hours are Monday to Thursday 10 a.m. On Friday only, Friday and Saturday they have 11 a.m. and on Sundays only they have 12 noon. They have a jukebox, no live music. It's going to be the same exactly. The one side is the long bar, right? They plan to have 22 stools, the way very similar to the design that they have currently, and they're going to have booth seats instead of the booth seats. For temporarily, they're going to have high tall tables. Maximum of 74 at the same location. It used to be the CO says it was a restaurant, but when I check the Google, all I see is the kitchen supply for years. So maybe years ago there was a restaurant back then. There will be a total of 8 tables, 34 seats at the tables, and 22 seats at the bar. So everything will remain the same. The management, the company, the staff, it's just the address change. And it might look slightly different, but they try to keep the same design and all the equipment as is. So, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Well, that whole block is coming down, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
That whole block from 11, no, oh, it's not? Oh, okay. Now, at that corner, many years ago, there used to be a famous Italian restaurant there because we used to live at 1144.
Oh.
So that was many years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody from the public? No, you're not the public, Judy, no more. Anybody from the public? Not seeing any, Judy.
Yeah, originally it was coming down, which was why Subway Inn moved, but people, well, I don't want to use any names, but you know him, Gaz. One
Yes.
of the rent who's been there for like 55 years wasn't about to move out of the building. So so the building, I don't know whether the corner building is coming down, but the rest of the block is not coming down. And I'm in support of this since it's only a move from one corner to the other. And now I know before Mrs. Brown speaks, she's going to talk about the hours. I must say, living in the neighborhood, we've had no complaints, I do not believe. And Zachary can tell me if the board's had any complaints, but I don't think we've had any complaints. There were people living above Subway Inn where it is now, and those hours seem to work okay. So I can't see why they wouldn't continue to 3/4 of the way down the block where they're moving to. So I'm in support of this.
And you're ADA compliant?
Yes.
Yep. Marco Tamayo. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Brown. Can we unmute Mrs. Brown before Marco? Thank you.
Judy, thank you for sharing your thoughts, your comments. I have an additional concern because on the 500-foot statement, it shows the hours as 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. And then on the face sheet, it shows 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. So I'm a little confused because it's inconsistent. Is it 3 a.m. or is it 4?
That question was about the kitchen. what time the kitchen will open till 3 a.m. That was the answer for the 3 a.m. The reason for the 3 a.m. But their closure time will be 4 a.m. The same.
Okay. Perhaps Judy, you can answer this. Do you think that they need a security guard out there during those wee hours of the morning to
I don't think so, Mrs. Brown. I mean, that's a pretty quiet area. The most noise is from the traffic coming and going over the bridge. So I think a security guard is.
Okay, because
you can ask Stephen, but Stephen, I don't think you've had the need for that, have you?
We've hello everyone. Good evening. We've had a security guard since day one of us on the corner of East 60th and Second
I
Avenue.
never saw him.
The reason you never see him is because he's really quiet and maintains order. The problems that we do deal with is the homeless population that gathers on that bus stop right there.
Right.
Which we've actually been responsible for helping the NYPD as well with our cameras and our security guard lower down some of the crimes actually. So hey, props to Subway Inn. We do play a role as well with the community. As far as security, you know, he's there all the time. He monitors everything that's in front of him. Any gatherings that are there, he pushes them back inside. He keeps them out there for a minute or two so they can talk, and then he pushes them back inside. Any garbage that's thrown out there, we're always picking up, so we're policing ourselves up. Just as I've done for the last 15 years in the military. So
the other thing, I'm glad you clarified that, because the other concern I have was the food drink ratio of 30/70, and when you're open to the wee hours of the morning and your food ratio is only 30 and your drink is 70, that to me is creates concern. But since you have a security guard, he's active, and Judy gives you glowing remarks, I can support this application. So call the question.
Well, I think Judy will volunteer to be act as a security guard also. But Judy, what was the name of that Italian restaurant many years ago? We'll get that later. Marco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm serious concerned. I mean, I don't have no objections at all in the way they operate everything. That's perfectly fine. I think it's great for business. But I'm more concerned with the open meetings law, which is basically they supposed to post it in the neighborhood so the community will understand that there is an application. And since they has been operating for a while, we would like to hear from the neighbor too. So my concern is basically is not in compliance with this open meeting law. And many fellow community members, they raise constantly this issue, and many applications in other committees, there has been raised constantly this part. And they are right, by the way, they are not wrong. And it cannot be an exception. I mean, that's made me concerned seriously. It has to be presented until the community will be notified.
There was a misunderstanding, and sincere apology for not posting the poster, but this applicant is an existing business who's been there for years, and we're merely moving within the same block. We're not an outsider coming in, opening a brand new establishment. So we ask you to allow us move on with this application, please.
Zach, have we had any 311 complaints about this location? You're muted.
I will search real quick, but we haven't, like me personally, I haven't received any calls or complaints about this establishment. But I can certainly look on the history if you'd like.
Mr. Chair, even though that there is no complaints, we are not in compliance with that part of the law. And that's made me concerned. And this is not only in this committee, it's all committees, many fellow communities right here, they raise the issue. And I think, and that's my concern. Nothing against the business. If the business probably is could be fine, nothing against them. But we had to follow procedure with everybody equally. That's my only concern.
Okay. Judy?
Yes, why don't we vote on this, have them post it for next Wednesday when it'll be voted on at the full board. And if there are any members of the community that want to speak in the public session against the restaurant or in favor of the restaurant, they can do so in the public session so that when the full board gets to vote on it, they will hear from the community if there are any problems. That I think kind of solves the issue from Marco's point of view.
True. Mrs. Brown?
Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. I think that partially solves the question. Marco raises an excellent point. Is a week enough time to post, considering that they might start posting on Thursday and our board meeting is next Wednesday? Is that ample time for the public to?
Well, most of the time beforehand, and we normally ask the applicant to post several days beforehand, because what happens if they post a long time in advance, then people tear it down and people don't pay attention. And normally we used to post just the weekend before, if I'm not mistaken. But also getting back to the posting, you know, they have told us straight out that they forgot to post or did not post intentionally or for whatever reason, I do not know. But we've also had applications before that we have heard and walking around that I've walked around and I know that it has not been posted and we've heard it. So it's a very touchy situation that we cannot prove or disprove many other applicants, whether they posted or not. And even before tonight, I don't think we asked any of them whether they had posted or not. So
that's because we get photos of their posting.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Will. Yeah, I didn't know we did. Okay. Okay. So is that okay with you, Marco and Mrs. Brown, that we vote on it? And otherwise, what's going to happen? They're going to post. They'll come back next week, and it will be the exact same 5-minute discussion. I'm open to whatever the committee wants.
Of course, my concern is next. If we do with this applicant, we have to do with everybody. Are we willing to change the regulations with everybody? And that is my concern, because once you do it right here, we have to do for everybody else, because we have to be fair with all the applications, with all committees. And that is the serious concern that I have. I don't have nothing against this restaurant, by the way. Everything
okay,
is fine.
So can we have it that you come back to us next month with the proving
that will be great.
Posted, and that will be all?
Problem is, we need to submit. Current license expires at the end of August, so we will not be able to renew, and they'll have to shut down.
But she can still have a chance to reapply, and we can still approve that. I mean, this is not the first case that we hear in that condition, and I don't mind myself when you come in next time to recommend the approval. I will strongly support your application.
I don't mind coming in next month, sir. It's just that we need to submit the application. If you allow us to submit the application and we attend, and we will do the posting as required, and we will attend. I don't mind attending. It's just that I don't want to hold up the application, because every day, back then, 10 years ago, it was a 2-3 month process, whereas now it's taking 6 to 7 months for an application to be processed. And he has to sit there closed for many months from here on on because they don't even qualify for a temporary permit at the new location. So if you kindly allow us to submit the application, I don't mind coming in 2-3 more times, really.
Marco has an excellent point. We would create a precedent. And it's most unfortunate that this was an oversight or you did not reach out to the district office for guidance in this regard. So I strongly feel that we need to hold it over till next month so that you can do the proper posting. Thank you.
Okay, so is anybody making a motion to lay this over until next month?
One more thing. Well, if you want, you can call the vote and see that maybe they approve at the committee, maybe disapprove, maybe the full board approves. I don't know. But myself, I'm going to abstain for that reasons. I mean, it's nothing against business, please.
Yeah. Judy?
I'd like to make a motion, and if it's seconded, I'd like to speak to it. I'd like to move that we approve this application.
With the condition that they come back to us.
Yeah, well, I was going, yeah, okay, if you want to make that a condition, with the condition that they post it and be available at next week's full board meeting for any questions that may come up.
And come back to us next month in July?
No, I would like to make,
informational.
I would like to make a motion that we approve it tonight is my
Okay, yes.
resolution.
Correct, okay. Do we
Is
have
somebody going to second that?
Yeah, I will second that. We've got to be.
Okay. And then I have to say, other people have done this before. I think we're being very tough on these people. They're moving 150 feet down the block. I mean, it's not as if it's a new establishment and the community doesn't know them and doesn't patronize them and know who they are. We don't have a ton of complaints. We don't have any complaints about them, as far as I know. Certainly the neighborhood association hasn't gotten any complaints. And I really think that we should vote on this. And if you think that this is such a bad idea, then Marco and Mrs. Brown bring it up at the full board meeting. But it also gives the community a week, if they agree to post it tomorrow, it gives a week for it to be up, posted, and then it can be heard at the full board.
So do we have approved, or can you approve, or sorry, can you assure us that you will post tomorrow? Make sure that the posting will be up until next Tuesday or next Wednesday. Make sure that it is up every day until next Wednesday, and then appear at the full board next Wednesday.
Yes, and we'll submit the proof of the posting as well.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion to approve based on the fact that they will post and come before us next week to make sure and to satisfy to us that they have posted and it is kept up for the whole week. So do we have a second on that? I second that, didn't I? So the question is, or the vote is to approve based on that condition that they come before us next week with proof of posting. Do we have anybody voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause? Marco, you're a no or an abstention?
Mr. Co-Chair, I should call the question. Nobody called the question, and I was planning to call the question.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so the question's been called. Anybody voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, raise your hand. Mrs. Brown?
No.
And Marco, you're voting yes?
I'm going to abstain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have, Zach, can we read do we have the same number of people?
We do not. We lost some people, so I'll do the roll call.
Thank you.
So Kaz, yes. Miss Brown, no. Addison Lev, yes. Evan Myerson, yes. Judith Schneider, yes. Casey Lally, yes. Marco Tamayo, abstain. And Robin Salgeson, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much. Do we have any, I think that's all we have for tonight. Do we have any old business? Marco? Is that for old business or new business or?
I would like, Mr. Chair, I would like to call, call for the adjournment for today.
Well, let's, before we do that, Mrs. Brown.
I didn't hear what Marco said, but I was raising my hand with a motion to adjourn.
Oh, Marco beat you to it. Okay, the motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week at the full board. Meeting over, Zach. Thanks.
Have a good night.